This is going to be your March 2019 general reading, and as usual I'm using the Spiral Tarot for your basic layout, and this month I'm using this, it's called the Enchanted Map Oracle cards, and they are absolutely stunning. I'm completely in love with these cards. And of course this is for Gemini rising, sun, and moon. These don't always resonate or apply, and I don't know about you guys, but I most definitely always watch all three of mine, because sometimes it shifts around each month on which one I vibrate to the most. Sometimes it can even give you a much broader perspective of what's going on for you too. So I'm going to show you your basic layout cards first. This is a rather intense reading, you guys, not necessarily in a super negative way, it's just intense. So you'll see if this resonates or not for you. Your central experience for March, I'm so sorry you guys, is the devil. I don't know what's going on right now or what you're having to deal with in March, but see what I mean about this being an intense reading. We'll get into it. With the clarifier, this makes a lot more sense. But your central experience for March is the devil. Your challenge this month is justice. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? What is helping you is the Ace of Pentacles. At the root of your being, you have strength. What you're coming away from, thank goodness, is the Three of Swords. Your best possible outcome is the Magician. Coming up for you in the near future, you have the Ace of Swords. You right now are Temperance. In your surroundings, you have the Five of Wands. Your fear is the Seven of Wands. Your general outcome is the Six of Swords. Okay. I'm sorry, I sometimes I have a weird sense of humor, and to me this is just so funny. So your central experience for March, I don't know, I'm trying to angle it where you can see it without the glare. These cards are pretty shiny. You have cleaning house. And I don't know if you can see it, but the wallpaper is peeling. The wallpaper's become sooty and dirty. There's clutter falling out of drawers. There's dust on the floor. There's mice. Clutter. Dirt. And the devil. So what I'm getting something really specific with this. I don't know, this probably isn't going on for all of you. I'll try to read this in a number of different ways, but what I'm getting is that you've had some very unwelcome energy in your home. I don't know, maybe some of you ended up with a nightmare roommate that you thought would be a good fit for some kind of a living situation, but it turns out that they had addiction problems, or they drank all the time, or they were late on rent, or they were total slobs, or maybe even caused damage to your property. If you happen to run some kind of home business, like, I don't know, like an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast, or if you own an inn, or if you house people as part of your living situation, or if you decided to take off for a year and you rented out your house to someone. I'm getting that for somebody or some of you, you may have suffered damages because of this renter or person who brought some very unwelcome energy into your space, and it has possibly even damaged the place where you have to do repairs and clean up. With something not as specific as all of that, we could just say that whether this devil here is an external factor or an internal factor, it revolves around feeling stuck, feeling bound, feeling stuck, feeling tied to something that you know is not healthy for you. This can be addictions of all different kinds. This can be a feeling of bondage or of remaining trapped. And this could be also limiting yourself, thinking of yourself as being a bad person too. This can also be demonizing other people as well and making them into bad guys when really they're probably just really troubled. I don't know who the heck that was for, but what I'm getting is that you have decided to kick the devil out of your house, or you have to clean up after the devil, or you have to clean the devil out of your house, out of yourself, out of your, maybe you haven't been treating your body all that great. Maybe you haven't been eating well, or you haven't been nurturing yourself, or you've let yourself go with certain things that you know are unhealthy for you, or you've had so much going on, or you've felt so bound to a situation that you've given up on taking care of it. And it's almost like that saying, to hell with it. Who cares? But you realize you actually really do care, and you don't want things to deteriorate or fall apart more than they actually have. And so you're deciding to clean up. You're either cleaning this out of your own psyche, out of your thought patterns, out of your actual home or your physical space. You're cleaning up. Okay? Your challenge is justice and the Wizard of Awareness. Your challenge may be that you feel as if things have been extremely unfair and you don't know how to get justice in this situation. If we used the analogy of you run a bed and breakfast or something and you had somebody rent the place that totally damaged it, of course you could probably get some kind of a keep the security deposit or keep something, but what I'm getting is the damage is too great for that to even cover. And use this as a metaphor, you guys. You guys are Geminis. I'm sure you can visualize this in several different ways. But this is the gist of what I'm getting, is that it just didn't cover the amount of damage made. And so you're wondering, do you have to take this to court? How do you get justice in this situation? How do you get what you need in order to right the situation or fix the situation? With Wizard of Awareness here, you may need to get some legal advice, or you may need to look into different avenues of how you could pursue this in order to ensure that things are fair. Or how can you look at things in a broader way with awareness in order to come up with solutions to righting a situation or balancing a situation out. Make sure that you're not going overboard. I have to say this, I'm so sorry, but I am getting that for someone watching or a group of you, you may be demonizing things a little bit too much. You may need to look at things in a different way where you're seeing both sides of the situation. Not to say that something wasn't fair, but you may be turning someone into a demon here when really they've got problems. Let's put it that way. And you're struggling with this. How can you look at this more fairly? But at the same time, you're the one cleaning up the mess. So I don't know if this applies. I mean, obviously, this could apply with business. This could be a relationship. This could be anything. This could even be how you've been treating yourself, but I am getting something about other people in this, especially with justice in this. Or you're struggling with needing to be more fair about a situation, or trying to remain neutral about a situation so that you can really look at it for what it is. But just because this is a challenge does not mean that this is stopping you or that this can't happen. It's just saying that it's challenging. So, what is helping you? Is the Ace of Pentacles with... What's my doing? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just checking out my dog for a second. There's movement. This is what's helping you. If you have planted seeds, or you have begun with starting some plans, or if you need to rearrange some things or simplify some things so that they run smoother, this is what's helping you. If you have planted seeds and for a while it seemed as if they weren't growing, it definitely seems as if it's moving now, or they're growing now, or something's happening now that you can actually see. Rather than unseen rumblings underneath the surface, you're definitely seeing movement now. So things are about to get a lot better. If business or money has been slow, it seems as if business or money is going to speed up or start moving forward. If you've been needing to redo some things with your health, as in changing your diet or making sure you drink more water than you have been, or you realize you've been allergic to something and so your diet is having to be changed because of that. Any kind of new routines, whether it's getting up in the morning, drinking a cup of tea, and then doing yoga, or just the little everyday things that further along your health or your well-being or your body's ability to be flexible and healthy. It seems as if you're really moving forward with this. For somebody, you may have started walking every morning or jogging every morning, or making fresh juice, or cleaning up your environment as well to simplify things. I'm getting something in here about minimalism. Not that you're going to get rid of all your furniture and live as if you don't have anything, but releasing the excess clutter or excess stuff lying around so that you can think more clearly. Things are a little bit more streamlined. Things that will get the chi or the energy moving in your life. If you've experienced stagnancy, you may want to redecorate, clean things up, simplify, and then as if by magic, you'll see things start to move and start to shift in a better direction than before. For some of you, what's helping you is you may have to move for a new job or a new home or a new location, or if you have started a new relationship, it looks as if the relationship is moving forward, or you and your significant other decide to take a little trip together. Maybe to go on a small vacation, ride a hot air balloon, decide to take a little ferry ride to an island, do something fun that makes your life feel like an adventure. If you do find yourself having to clean up after someone's mess, literally or figuratively, and you want justice and you have to deal with that situation, after you've done all that, or when you feel as if you've reached your max with doing that, take time out, do something fun, pamper yourself, do something to take care of yourself. Okay? You okay, buddy? You all right? Okay. He just got neutered a couple of days ago. He's not exactly acting himself. You okay, little buddy? So, at your root, You have strength in with into the unknown. I want to take a look at this for a second. She's holding a key in one hand. She's wearing gloves. She's blindfolded, and she's walking forward. There's a bird on the ledge watching her. The key that she's holding has wings. And there's hearts in the flowers, and then strength. So there's a lot going on in here. What I'm getting is that deep within yourself, you feel a major shift happening, but you may not, it may be something that you have to feel with your other senses besides your sight. You may not actually see this thing happening, but you can feel it. And it does take trust. Behind her is a rainbow. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little bit blurry. Behind her is a rainbow. That's a rainbow of hope. That bird seems like a messenger of hope. But she's blindfolded. She has no idea what's going to happen. She doesn't know that if she walks forward, whether or not she will trip over something, or whether she will walk into something pleasant or walk into anything at all. She is going someplace or feeling things out. But because she's holding the key with the wings, and because there's a bird behind her, I'm getting something about freedom here. It's like you have to take some kind of a leap of faith or some kind of movement forward blindly with the hope that you will be released for freedom. That key she's holding could open up a cage that bird was in, and she freed the bird. Now she just has to free her eyes to be able to see. Maybe she decided to wear the blindfold to see what it would be like to not be able to see. Maybe she's playing some kind of a game. But it does involve going into the unknown. She doesn't know what's happening. She has to have a certain amount of faith that she's doing the right thing or going in the right direction, or that she won't stumble, that things will get better, or that things will get better in the future if she just takes this leap or takes trusts, even though she can't see what's happening. You have to be strong about this process. You're taking some kind of a risk. And things are about to change significantly, or something is about to be freed, or you're about to free yourself. Maybe you've been holding back an aspect of your own divine fierceness. You know, normally strength talks about gentleness mixed in with strength, laying down boundaries or having limits but asserting them in a gentle way with others, blah, 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 blah. But let's face it, we all have a fierce, wild nature to ourselves. Sometimes that wild nature needs to be expressed. I'm getting a feeling here that you've been holding this back. Maybe you haven't wanted to ruffle feathers, or you haven't wanted to shake things up, or you've had to subdue yourself in order to maintain certain situations. But it almost seems to me as if you're kind of over it at this point. You may need to go on some kind of a trip or change your surroundings, have some movement happen so that you can let that part of you out. I don't know, like go to a football game and yell at the top of your lungs. Stomp around and yell and get all primal or something like that. Throw pillows around. Rage out. Do whatever you've got to do to get some of that stuff out. It seems as if you perhaps have been suppressed and you want to free yourself and go into the future, go into the unknown. Maybe the unknown for you is knowing how to express this part of yourself and not repress it completely so that you don't eat yourself up from the inside out. with needing to express this fierceness, you may need to lay down some major boundaries on something. Or you may need to stay strong with taking a leap into the unknown and trusting a situation, seeing what happens. In the past, you have the Three of Swords, so you may have had grief, loss, heartbreak, sadness, depression, a feeling of loss, a feeling of sorrow, even a feeling of betrayal, possibly, or a painful ending of some kind. But in the midst of all of that, you also realized that you can choose whatever you want to focus on, or to do, or to say, that you are not stuck, that you're not bound, that you, again, he's blindfolded. Yep. It's like he's playing Russian roulette with, or juggling different options, but he's blindfolded. It's the magical map shifter. So it may be that you have to take a leap of faith and just, even though you have no clue on what you're doing, to just go towards something or pick something, or that you can change things, that it is up to you. You are not trapped. You definitely have choices. You may not be certain on which choices to make, but it may just be an act of faith where you leave it up to the universe. It's like picking tarot cards. You know, when a tarot card reader is shuffling the cards, of course you ask the universe to bring you to the right cards, or the right cards to come. But at the same time, after you put the intention out there, you have to leave it up to the universe. You have to trust that whatever comes out was meant to come out and will mean something to somebody. Sometimes you just have to allow the fates to be able to arrange things for you, or to have things unfold. Sometimes mysteries like this can be extremely exciting. It's an exciting mystery, but it's also a risk. You know, will you end up with garbage, or will you end up with a beautiful diamond? Will you end up with a good experience, or will you end up in a place that you didn't want? But you do have it in you to know when to take the risk, or to have faith that you will be given the right thing, or that you will receive the right message, or that you will make the right choice. But it's definitely up to you, and you definitely have choices. You are not trapped. It may have been that you had some sadness with a relationship ending, or not finding a relationship if you've wanted one, or just difficult things in life that have gotten you down. Let's put it that way. But rather than dwelling on that or remaining stuck in that feeling, you do have choices, but you may be confused. You may be not sure. In any case, that's where you've been. So your best possible outcome is the Magician, which again is saying a similar thing. Don't they almost look... Doesn't the magical map shifter look like a magician? He's juggling blindfolded. That in itself is not that easy to do. He's able to make things happen. He just needs to make a choice. With the Magician, I feel like the Magician knows what he wants. He's not confused. His eyes, he is not blindfolded. The rays of light are coming out of his hand because he has the power within himself to manifest things, just simply even from his intentions, or deciding on things, or taking action towards something. The Magician speaks of self-empowerment, of independence, of knowing what you're worth, or knowing what you're capable of, knowing that ultimately everything is up to you. You are not at the mercy of the universe. You have a certain amount of power, and you can use it to change situations, begin new situations, to make things happen. With it, you have stuck in the mud, and it's an elephant stuck in the mud. At least the elephant's got the bird to keep it company. Your best possible outcome is that you can get yourself out of the swamp. You can get yourself unstuck. You are not going to stay stuck for forever. You will get out. It may not be easy to get out, but you can do it. To clear your mind from that feeling of that you're never getting any place, or that you're sinking even, or that you don't know how to get out of the mud, but you do. You just need to persevere, and you need to stay empowered and realize your own power to get out of any situation that you feel trapped by, or feel bound to, or stuck to. This is reminding me of the Devil card here, the stuck card. Your best possible outcome is you can easily get yourself out of here. Well, I shouldn't say easily. It's not easy to get out of mud, but it is possible. And also to get your mind out of that state, to focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do, or what you feel you can't do. In the future, you have the Ace of Swords, and you have Sacred Pool. It's kind of hard to see it, but it is a woman floating in a sacred pool, and it looks as if she's speaking or singing, and there is magical rays of spirit light that's coming out of her mouth and up into the ethers. And there's magical fairy lights all around. It seems like a supernatural, miraculous experience this woman is having in the sacred pool. No wonder it's called a sacred pool. This pool seems as if it's teeming with spirits, beneficial spirits, that are all about unswamping yourself. This sacred pool is not a swamp, although it does look like there's flowers in the water and growth in the water. Flower petals. But this woman is not drowning. This is almost reminding me of Ophelia from Hamlet. But it's like what would have happened to her if she hadn't succumbed to despair. This is kind of reminding me of Stuck in the Mud. Is reminding me of the swamps of despair from The Never-Ending Story. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but this is reminding me of the swamps of despair, becoming stuck in sorrow, or becoming stuck in sadness or hopelessness. But this is what would have happened to her if she hadn't succumbed to that sorrow or that grief or that hopelessness. If instead of drowning herself, if instead she had started to sing, and the fairies came alive and surrounded her with love and magic and gave her some kind of a blessing or healing. This is how you're going to be perceiving things in the future, or thinking about things. It almost seems like a sudden shift or a sudden switch, that you just decide to get yourself out of it. And it's almost like just the very next day you wake up and you are seeing things differently, that make you feel like you're alive, or that you're held by spirit, or that you again, it's about trust. You know, this woman floating in the water could be fearful that the fairies are demons or the devil, and that if she opens up her mouth and sings, then the demons are going to go inside of her and pollute her and blah, blah. All of those nightmarish fears that people can have of what could happen if you trust, or what could happen if you decide to succumb to spirit. But instead, the opposite is happening. She trusted the fairies. She trusted that they are there for healing, that the pool can heal her. That's perhaps why she came to the sacred pool in the first place. That if she opens up her mouth, that love and magic is going to be breathed into her. You have decided to approach things from this standpoint with your mind, with what you choose to focus on, what you choose to expect, what you choose to believe in. Is you could go with your fears, or go with what could go wrong, or you could go with what amazing things could happen. What amazing, beautiful, magical things can happen to you. It seems like your mind has completely shifted, or has completely opened to beautiful possibilities. The Sacred Pool card really does feel like a massive healing, and a healing that you open yourself up to. It's not something that you necessarily have to do. It's something that you open up to and allow to help you. You may receive some kind of a magical message or invitation or offer that brings you almost a healing of your perspective of things. Okay. Hang on 1 minute. I need to do something. Okay. All right. So you right now are Temperance, and with it you have Golden Palace. And you know, this deck for me is completely brand new, and I haven't even read the book yet. I'm going purely off of my intuition with what these cards are. That's one thing I really love about regular old mysterious oracle cards, is they don't run along any kind of a system. For clairvoyants like me that are visual minded, where we get visions or see things, or our imaginations are extremely vivid, all you have to do is look at the picture and the message comes. But for some reason I wanted to read what this one was, and it's pretty interesting. So I'm just gonna cheat and read it to you. It's not very long, and then I'll try to figure it out. So it says, the Golden Palace. There is always enough. The Golden Palace card represents good fortune, ambitions fulfilled, wealth, and prosperity. It may also indicate emotional fulfillment, as perhaps you're entering a time of happiness that's long overdue. The message here is that self-worth isn't measured by what you have, no matter how abundant your life is. Instead, it comes from what you are, how authentically you're living your life, and how much love you're willing to share. Granted, receiving this card does indicate material gain and a furthering of tangible rewards, but things come and go, and knowing your true value leads to even greater riches now. Share the wealth. So, together, it seems as if you're going through a massive healing in the near future with the last two that I read for you, Sacred Pool and Ace of Swords. You're changing your perspective and you're seeing things differently. You may be experiencing something, a healing of sorts, or see things in a completely new way that you feel healed by. But this is telling me to appreciate the things that you do have, to simplify and let go of things that don't serve you or just serve to clutter situations up. Don't over expand. You want to be moderate with this because temperance is here. You want to strike a nice balance between being grateful, having what you need, feeling abundant, and yet being able to release, being able to gift things to other people, being able to give back. If you have an excess, it would greatly benefit other people for you to give some of your treasures away to people who need them. If you have not had enough, if you have felt poor, you feel like you haven't had what you need, by staying positive, staying even-keeled, and focusing more on your spiritual wealth and your own gratitude for the life that you do have, you will attract more wealth into your life and more prosperity into your life. It almost seems to me that you're being given an extremely great gift from spirits or your guides or your angels or your ancestors or even your fairies. Because you're healing, because you're changing, and because you're seeing things differently, and because you're letting go of certain things, and because you're also leaving things up to the fates to a certain degree, even though it can be a little bit scary at times. It seems as if you're being led someplace by spirits, or you you stumble across riches that are so much more valuable, spiritually valuable to you than anything else that is physical. Or it's an inner wealth. It's a feeling that you will never go without, that you will always have what you need as long as you're grateful and you stay positive and you give when you can. You're trying to stay moderate with these things and not to go overboard. Overindulgence at this time, especially with the devil in here, and a few other factors in here, mainly the devil. Don't overindulge. Don't overdo it. Don't eat too much. Don't drink too much. Don't spend too much money on shopping. Don't. Just be real careful with how you're using your resources, or even how you're treating your own body, because like they say, your body is your temple, or your body is your own golden palace, and you have to take good care of it. You want to turn this dirty, dingy, broken down house into a golden palace. And you do that by taking this devil and being moderate and temperate with it, to not demonize anything or anyone or even yourself, to not place blame on anything, instead to blend, to have compassion, boundaries, a positive outlook, and realizing that you can handle anything. You just need to stay calm and balanced. You're above. This angel is above that. It's above all that. This devil could only hope to try to control an angel. I suppose the devil, supposedly, according to lore, is a fallen angel, right? I'm not a religious person, so I'm coming more from a philosophical standpoint with this. But there was the beautiful angel, and then the angel fell and became something more dense and more a much lower frequency. The devil is feeling trapped and almost a feeling of hopelessness at times. Temperance is full of hope and optimism, and she's willing to blend. She's willing to balance. She's willing to not demonize anything or anyone or herself. To forgive. I'm getting something about forgiveness in here. So, in your surroundings, you have the 5 of Wands. Is there bickering going on in your surroundings? People are at odds with each other. There's bickering or fighting, or people playing ego battles with each other, or you're having internal struggles with all of this. You may feel as if people aren't working together, or you just can't see how things can get peaceful out of this situation or cleaned up if people are not working together, or you're not working with yourself, or you're not working with others. But next to it, you have coming to life. And so it can be a dramatic transformation in your surroundings where the old conflict passes away when you come back to life again. This woman used to be a statue, and the stone that she used to be is cracking and crumbling, and she's coming out of it in living color and in living flesh. I love this card. This card is absolutely stunning. I just love this illustration. I feel as though this is what's happening to you. Sorry, guys. You've been swimming in the sacred pool, and something about swimming in the sacred pool, you're coming back to life again. Something that was stagnant or stuck before is no longer stagnant. You're starting to see things in a new way, or experience things more viscerally than before, where you feel like you're involved. You're not just a bystander, or you're able to be free now. Doesn't she look like she's freeing herself and is completely empowered? This is kind of reminding me of the magician here. So whatever this petty ego battle, arguments, fighting, or even internal conflict is, it's nothing. You know, you can imagine these these men fighting and bickering. They're fighting so loudly and distracting each other so much with petty stuff that they don't even notice that right next to them something magical is happening. And imagine what would happen if she finally came completely out of being a statue and she's just standing there looking at them. What do you think she would think? She was stone. And now that she's alive, she's saying, why are you guys wasting your time like this? Don't you realize that life is valuable, that you've got to use every moment that you've got to enjoy yourself or enjoy your life? Why are you arguing with each other? Don't you know that everything is sacred and that you should honor your life and do what you need to do, express yourself instead of fighting? And can you imagine them standing there in shock, wondering how they could have missed the fact that a statue just came to life next to them? They were so busy fighting they didn't even notice. Maybe they would end up feeling ashamed or guilty over being so silly. But in any case, you're above all this. You don't need to engage in that. You don't need to fall prey to that. You don't need to listen to that. If it really is that bad, you can easily free yourself from this situation and attract people in your surroundings that work together or that empower each other and free each other and focus on what really matters. So your hopes. You have the Seven of Wands and Dragon's Lair. There's a spooky looking mountain castle. That's the dragon's lair. There's a dragon flying up in the air, and then there's some dragon eyes in a cave. Looks a little bit gloomy. There's bars on the window. What I'm getting is that you've been in a defensive position because you want to fend the devil off or this negative energy from your home or your environment. There may have been some not so great energy brought into your environment that you have been fending off. You don't want this anywhere close to your home or your safe place. You feel as if you're constantly having to look out for people that are trying to sabotage things or hoard things or steal things or I don't know, fending off attacks, fending off a feeling of danger. But this danger may actually be in your, or has been in your environment, but it was called in by your mind, is what I'm getting. Something about how you saw things or how you perceived things invited this energy in. And now that it's been in there, you don't want it in there, you want it out. But you're having a hard time releasing this somehow. But your hope is that you will be done with this, that you will no longer have to be in this position, or you'll no longer feel as though you need to be in this position. That you can guard things, have things guarded naturally by spirits or by guides or by the universe, rather than you feeling personally responsible for fending off unwanted energy or danger. Don't you know that the universe will look out after you? You just have to ask for it, or believe that it'll happen, or get backup, and not from people that are fighting with each other. But you don't need to be in this position anymore. And this is what you're hoping, is that this will be over, and that your fear is of remaining in this situation. This may even be a way of thinking or a way of feeling about things that has lingered off and on for years, or that was somehow taught to you by things that you've experienced in the past. And the reason why I'm saying that is because your general outcome is you have the Six of Swords with Ghost Lands. Ghost Lands is reminding me of times past, of ghosts from the past, old things that have happened a long time ago that still linger or still hang around. And notice the man in the boat who's moving away. He's moving away from the ghost lands. He's moving away from the past, from old haunts. He's letting go of old grief, old haunts, old feelings of unfinished business, unresolved situations, things that still linger, things that still feel like they haunt you or keep on following you around, things that have passed. Kind of reminding me of the Christmas Carol, where it's the ghost of the past, ghost of Christmas past. But the angel, the higher self, the higher way of seeing things or believing in things, of hope, faith, trust, protection, divine protection, knowing that there are, just like there are ghosts in the world, there are also angels in the world. If we said that demons were alive in the world, angels are alive in the world, and fairies are alive in the world. There's all different kinds of things alive in the world. But what do you choose to focus on? Do you focus on the ghosts? And ghost lands don't have to be scary. They don't have to be horrifying. They can just be simply things that have happened. But you, as your general outcome, you are following your higher self. You're choosing to believe in the future and not focus on the past anymore. You're getting away from old haunts. You're getting away from old lingering feelings. You're moving on to much more peaceful waters and moving away from old memories. Interesting. Well, hopefully that made sense or helped. And I wish you all the best. And I love you very much. And I'll see you soon. I'm going to be putting out love readings first, hopefully in the next couple of days. Things have gotten strange. I had a ton of things happen recently. I have old furniture leaving my house, new furniture coming in. My dog got neutered. There's a million things going on. I'm working a lot. But I should, and also there was the leap year where the last month was shorter than it was supposed to be. So I am going to be coming out with the love readings hopefully by the 5th at the latest. And in the middle of the month, I'll be putting out random messages from the universe if you're interested in watching the other two for this month. So, I'll see you soon.